Okay, it's 7 o'clock.
Work against.
Let's call the March 22nd Supervisor Meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everyone for coming out. Is there any citizen participation at this time? Mr. Lightner. Hey, Bob.
No, I'm chairman of the vacancy committee. And one of the biggest mistakes ever made was nominating John Schultz for supervisor. I wasn't going to say anything but bite my tongue, but after the last meeting, the newspaper article, I just can't let it go. First of all, he says he wants, there's 7.4 miles of road. It's going to cost $2.4 million. Well, I guess we do it like PennDOT does, just don't want the legs. It doesn't cost that much. But we made it for 255 years. So we could get from here to there. Everything's all right. Before the pandemic, I traveled quite heavily in all Pennsylvania, surrounding states. Right here in the county, Route 34, 74, 849, and 850. Well, if that's the idea of what PennDOT does, I don't like parts of it. Of course, we just don't raise taxes here like PennDOT does, the state does. So, I don't know. And unlike Shows, I can be wrong. He can be, right can be. He says that we're the second highest tax rate of any township in the county. According to my research, there's 6 ahead of us. So I don't know where that came from. I just feel that we're a small rural community. We don't need signs, we don't need to spend all this money in curbs and all that stuff. If that's what he thinks, well, maybe he's not for Rye Township. So I'm going to stop there.
Thank you, Bob. Anyone else? Citizen participation at this time? Hearing none, we move on to approval of the minutes from the February 22nd supervisor meeting. I don't see any need for changes or adjustments. Anybody else? Corrections needed?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Zoning code enforcement report. Hey, John. From February 18th to March 18th by Brian Gilbert.
Yeah.
Monthly update to Daisy, Mountain Road, final revision of plan. On zoning permits, answered residents' questions about zoning requirements. Answered questions regarding a structure on this is a type of permanent work on moving shed has been completed, and a couple other 3 other properties. Wants to view it here. Sewage enforcement report. We have one on March 11th. And one on the 17th, 75 Pierce Road. $450. That also will be up here if anyone would like to view it. Thanks, Dave. Road report. John?
Yeah. As I've said once before, at least, they get the sound about the same, but this one is a little different. Let's chip a lot of brush, repaired a stop sign on Lamb's Gap Road, repaired a school bus sign on New Valley Road, installed new brakes and rotors on the number 4 dump trucks, pressure washed the trucks and equipment to remove salt. It might be safe to do that now. Cold patch potholes on Lamb's Gap Road, Pine Road, Leewood Road. Part of what we were going to do when the weather cleared, we hadn't gotten around to getting out yet. The guys got started anyway. Picked up limbs from the winds along Pine Hill and Mountain Road, tore through here a couple weeks ago. Repaired a started connection on the 1996 dump truck, that's the old number 1 truck. The big monster that we got. And that's where they left it off.
Good, thank you. Thanks, Brett.
Back there, huh?
He's back there.
Hey, back there in the corner. I see you. Okay.
Nancy, are you prepared with a record?
Yeah, I'm going to speak for the record. Our first event for this year, again, will be the fishing movie, and that's May 15th from 9 to 10:30, and it's being held at the Marysville Sportsman, and we have a rain date for that event of May 16th from 1 to 2:30. We also have started up, not myself, but Natasha Fry has started up a Facebook page, Parks and Rec Facebook page, and it's limited to Rye Township residents. And as of the meeting date, which was 2 weeks ago, we had 24 people signed up. And after Daisy's newsletter comes out, I guess this week or next week, we expect to get quite a few more people signing up. And in the newsletter, you'll see all the other events that are coming up.
Thanks to the rec board. Do we have an emergency management report? No? Hey, Charlie.
Do we have any update on the emergency notification system at all? Or are we gonna investigate that further?
Yeah, have we heard, Jim hasn't?
No, I haven't, he hasn't got
Okay.
that.
Okay,
I can touch base.
yeah,
Now
you
the
asked him if he
weather's
could-
cleared.
yeah.
Sure, I'll ask him. Maybe he'll have his shot by then too. So I think that's what, yes, that's why he did not want to come.
Okay.
Because he had some heart issues the other year, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Financial treasurer's report?
Began with the general checking account February 1st of $147,064.75 and receipts of $154,575.25, expenditures of $52,306.25, interest of $15.83, leaving us the balance March 1st in the general checking of $249,349.58. And that's because people have started to pay their taxes. General savings account had only interest activity and had a balance March 1st of $2,007.55. Liquid fuels checking remained constant with no interest at $508.70. Liquid fuels savings account had minimal interest with a balance March 1st of $2,656.11. And I just wanted to note that the first quarter tax distributions are on the agenda for approval tonight. I always try to get them out for them as soon as I can because I know, if anything, they've even had less fundraisers last year. So they're on for approval. And also, I attended a virtual webinar today on the American Rescue Plan and the monies that are going to be trickled down to Rye Township. And that was the big fight, the $1.9 trillion package that President Biden approved on March the 10th. It approved with a 50-49 vote. And then it passed again in the Senate with 220 to 211. So it didn't pass by a wide margin, but it did pass. $350 billion relief is sent to state, local, and tribal governments. And it looks like in Pennsylvania, PSAT said that $561 million was sent to second-class townships. Rye Township is set to receive $235,405. The first round of funding is to come to the state May the 10th, which is 60 days following the approval of the bill. So it should be here or released to the state May the 10th. And we will get 50% of that in 2021 and 50% in 2022. So you don't get it all at once. The state has 30 more days once it receives it to turn it around to us. That's if they don't extend it. You know, they might need an extension. Who knows? They administratively or could be. But if they go on time, they're to go out June the 10th. So I'm looking at like the middle of June if we get the 50%. We cannot receive greater than 25% of our combined 2020 budget total. So that means we can count our entire, not just our general fund budget, but it's our liquid fuels and our, all of our budget, solid waste. It all combines. We can't get greater than 25%. No township can get greater than 25% of their combined 2020 budget. And they said, take it slow and do it right. Don't try to say, oh boy, look what we got. Because we have till December 31st, 2024 to allocate the money. And I need to keep excellent accounting records because the state has got to account to the federal government, and I know we'll be accounting to the state. There are more regulations, more details that will be forthcoming from the state, but from what PSATS understands, they cannot change the main rules that are there, which is permitted uses in general, assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, and aid to impacted industries, which we don't have a lot of industries. You can also permit premium pay on top of an employee's pay who was considered essential and who worked during the stay-at-home act from the governor, his whatever you call it, his
edict.
Yeah, edict's a good word. A maximum of up to 25,000. That's more for bigger townships, actually. The thing that I think will apply most to us is lost revenue, reduction in revenue in 2020 due to the COVID emergency. 2019 will be the base year. 2019 was a good year for us as far as earned income and all our interest, everything was up. So any line item that our revenue was reduced from 2020 due to COVID in 2021, we'll be able to recoup that. And I just pulled our largest revenue, which is our earned income tax, and that decreased this year, which in our audit that you will hear the summary of next month, Craig told me that we really weren't down as much as some municipalities, but we were down almost $13,000. But we're a small municipality, so $13,000 is more to us than some larger municipality. To them it might be more of a drop in the bucket, but $13,000 is a lot for us. Our interest is going to be terribly reduced. We didn't take too big a hit this year because he said you must have some good long-term investments. I said we do, but I said next year it's going to be at least cut in half. I mean, it's terrible. It is just pathetic. But so some of those things that I was concerned about, and we should all be concerned about, or the reduction in revenue that we have no control over with the federal government, with the prime rate and all of that stuff. So that will help us. Also, the other thing that's permitted, the other category is infrastructure. Water infrastructure, you are allowed to recoup money for that. And someone asked, does that mean stormwater and ditch cleaning? And they said, there's been no details. There might be something more forthcoming, but it's water infrastructure. Sewer, like if you were going to extend your sewer, Marysville had expenses. I know they deal with their sewer plan all the time. We cannot use it for roads or bridges, but we can use it for what they understand, stormwater and ditch cleaning, anything to do with water infrastructure. And then there's also broadband, such as a simple thing as our GoToMeeting subscription. I'm sure that would be eligible. I don't know what else I needed to cover here. But I think there's actually a list on PSATs with all of the townships, all the counties, and all the individual townships and boroughs, and you can see, if you're curious, what your township or borough or someone next to us is going to be recouping. It was based on population, and that's how important the census is, that people complete the census. I think I covered everything for now. They're going to be, PSATs is going to be putting out an additional fact sheet. They said probably within a couple days. They also have a way that if you have any questions, I can get in there and they will try to answer them. It may not be 24-hour answer like it normally is, because they're getting inundated with questions, details. But anyway, that kind of gave me some hope, because I was concerned. Some of the things have really dropped, the investments and stuff that we have. Yes, and it was a free seminar. It took about an hour and a half, but it was well worth it. In fact, it was so well attended, they're having another one tomorrow, because it couldn't accommodate everybody. The other thing I just wanted to remind everybody is the auditors will be in. Our audit is complete. I'm going to send the notice of audit to the paper this week. And we had a good year. In spite of everything, we didn't do as much, which really helped us. But there are surpluses in every fund. So I was pleased to see that.
Anybody have any questions
At this point.
at this point?
And by the way, it's going to trickle down. It's not that we have a choice. So if a municipality says, I don't want that, you have to take it. If you don't spend it in the 4 years, they understand that it will be given to a township or borough who will spend it.
We're ready to move on to resolution 2021-11.
Yes, and here's a good example. It's our general savings that I pulled out of just our general savings account, because we were always getting, 0.25%. Last year I pulled it out and put it to 0.40 because the rates were decreasing then. And now it's renewing because I put it in for a year thinking things might be better. And it renews now at light term at 0.30%. So I'm just going to keep it in there. And like I said, we can make up those reductions through that stimulus package. It's the same.
Yeah, I see.
You can look at it. Oh, you don't have a...
No,
What'd you do with your agenda, John? Oh my goodness.
it might be in what.
Oh, maybe in the stack.
No problem.
I can get it.
Are you making a motion to approve, John?
Yeah.
John, do you want a second? I'll second.
I guess so.
John Stoll makes a motion, John Stoll seconds. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Daisy.
The agenda's not in here.
Okay. Okay.
I don't need it.
Okay. This is our original.
Yes, that's the original.
Moving on to new business. Mowing contract for the park. We have two. quotes. One from Cumler Lawn Care for $180 per mowing. And the other is from Borman's Lawn Care, for twice the amount, $360 per mowing. Make a motion to accept the mowing contract from Cumler's. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi. Is that the same company that did it last year?
Yeah. And then, the cemetery mowing contract, we have one bid. Greg Sloop for $120 per mowing of the Oak Grove Cemetery. I'll make a motion to approve, accept the contract.
Did we not ask anyone else?
I think we asked Layman and they didn't get back to us. They didn't get back to us last year.
I know last year we said about possibly putting something in a newsletter, opening up for other people, but no, just throwing it out there. Because, once again,
Did we put it in the newsletter?
No.
I don't recall.
The contract starts
Yeah.
April. Well, they normally don't, no, I'm sorry, May. I'm wrong, May.
Okay. And we did, for the park, we put out
Only one person,
well, two responded.
to
One
respond.
was twice.
Nancy called Layman.
Yeah, we called Roland Brown, and no response, so that's all we could get.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for the Oak Grove Cemetery for Greg Sloop for $120 per mowing. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All against?
I'm a no.
Okay.
Oh, It's the same as last year, same amount. Yes, you did. I think,
I
well,
don't think it was the second one. I think it was only the original.
Oh.
Yeah, there was only one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, John, you're hiding this stuff on us.
We'll just make sure it's
How long does this do?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. I have no idea. I want to. I'll get mine before you leave for the night.
There's those two. Thank you very much. Item C, authorize advertisement of road bids for acceptance at the April 26th.
What to do if we're gonna do that?
I think that we can advertise them. From what we got last year from Rick Levan, he has it pretty much figured out for us. He actually did the forms.
No?
Good.
Okay.
We'll take a look and see what we can do.
We have a motion to authorize.
I just have a couple of questions with that then.
Mhm.
I know this is an area out here that we don't have shoulder very well out there. Are we going to do anything to try and rectify that?
Talking about where the guide rail?
No, this is just right out here. I'm pretty sure just past this house it kind of drops off. Not as bad as the guide rail other spots, but
Before the section
Yep.
that we met about.
well, yeah, between Trout and here, I think it's pretty much the same as what we went through out there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that particular stretch right there.
Mhm.
Brad, is there something to go on?
Where's it at from here to Trout?
Yeah, the paving limits that were brought up last year by John were Trout to the Township Building, and then the curve on Lamb's Gap, and then right below the curve. I'm saying the drop off, I'm pretty sure it is out here, just like at Trout. Here's your pavement edge, and then it starts going down the hill pretty steep. Is that correct?
Is that more around the turn there, like, past Trout, more around the turn?
No, on this side, township side.
This time.
Mhm.
We
Yeah, I would think
obviously
so.
need to look at it before we talk.
Yeah, I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah, I'm just
I know how.
other things more than just pavement. Since we're doing the work in that area, we can have the contractor to help do.
Okay.
The curve warning sign. There is a curve right there. Trying to get that one because it has differing speeds on it on either side, and they're also the wrong style. They were, at least. Now this could be a road crew thing, but the intersection sign that's right out here, it's actually a T intersection and not a side road. It's just rotated. So if you're going from here on your way to Trout, there's a sign. Here, I'll just show you what the issue is. Now this could be a road crew thing, but it's in the area where we're doing the work.
So it's not that orientation, but needs to be.
Right. It's
Well, that's page.
it's that is what's out there.
Yep.
But it needs to be that. And the difference is this longer length.
Oh, versus the short. What's the?
This is the sign that's out there. It's just rotated, which makes it.
Oh, so if you just rotate it, okay.
Well, no, it wouldn't work that way
Okay.
because
Yeah.
if it was rotated, right now it has this long arm on it. It was really this kind of sign.
Okay.
And then it was rotated that way, but it really needs to be this, which is a short leg, and your leg that you're on is a long
And the
one.
meaning is the longer length is the primary road
Mhm.
that you're leaving.
Right.
Is it the
Okay.
Trout Lane sign? I'm confused, right?
It's-
Is it the Trout Lane sign?
It's on your way there. It's an intersection warning sign here. Now, this may not be good for the contractor.
Is
Well,
it already down there now?
There's one that's down there, but it is.
Intersection.
It's a secondary one, the primary kind of arrangement.
Yeah.
Okay.
The leg you're on should be the long one, not the short one.
Okay.
It's incorrect when you look at it, and it really.
That's something we can
Mounted incorrectly.
Yeah.
right?
easily.
Okay.
So
We'll
that.
see what it takes to get a correct one from Mom.
Is that a 30 by 30 or?
Yeah, either 30 by 30 or 36 by 36, one of the two.
Okay.
The diamond ones, yeah. That's for that. Lambs Gap Road. I know at the northern end there's that guide rail that just ends bluntly. Now that you could say is in the next section if we do the next section on, but at the top of the hill. So just something to bring up is should we look at doing that because we're there. Drainage improvements, all that up there on Lambs Gap in that upper area all has the pipes right next to the road. Yet all the lower areas have inlets with pipes, and I know they will. It seems like those work a lot better, and we can also not have the ditch right off the edge of the road and have the pipe getting crushed, ends of the pipe. Of course, I have about that curve was paved in 2017. Now we're looking at doing it again. Now it's 2021. It was also bad last year and the year before that. Are we just doing an overlay on that? Because it seems like we're just going to do base repair and overlay, and it seems like we're going to be back here at this in 4 years again. And that one, at least in that one curve, it just seems like a constant problem.
The S curve? You're talking like the S?
The sharp curve, that dangerous curve, yeah.
Rick Levin had looked at that because of where the potholes were patched.
Yeah.
And he said that, he thought one way we talked that it needed more repair than it did. But he said it is not sinking. There's superficial holes, and he felt that it's where the tire tracks are, and we got heavier weight on that road. Even with that rock slip closure, and there's more traffic on there now since that closure. And he felt that if we just build the base under that area, that's all that it would need, and maybe a little bit thicker pavement.
Have the water issue coming down there too. That was completely okay.
I don't remember him saying that those
I'm sure
holes right
the
there,
drainage
there might be
issues.
some area on there with cracking or something, I don't know. But the holes that is there, that was mainly, he said traffic and the amount of traffic and the weight of it, because it's right in the path of the vehicle tires.
I'm just wondering, how do you fix it? 2 inches of asphalt isn't going to fix it, and just milling out the wheel
He had
path isn't going to do it.
written
But
down, there's major base repair and adding more than what's necessary. Like, I don't know I'm just gonna use this hypothetical. Say you normally put in 6 inches, you're gonna put in 8 inches or 9 inches. And if you normally put in 3 inches of top or 2 inches of, and then a top on it, then he's saying, it's kind of like what they do, I guess, on roads at where you have a lot of truck traffic. But, not to that extent because it's Lamb's Gap, but I think that's what Rick Levan was proposing. I do have an email into him to touch base with him again, because I think it would be good if he would come out and talk to the guys if he's allowed to now. He wasn't allowed to before.
If we can have that set up, if we can.
I sent an email this morning and I haven't
No
heard back.
response yet.
No.
So we still need to authorize advertising.
Yeah, that way if everything is finalized, I could still go ahead with it to get the bids in time for April.
are we doing this through pen bid then? You and I sat through it, and we were going to have them look at the information. Are we doing it through pen bid or not? And who's inspecting it? Because our road crew, I know last time they were doing it, but then having to fix issues, and then no one was inspecting what was being done. So, and I know they complained about it, that they were having to work on it, and then, when we had the base issue and the water issue on the ground, it makes it very difficult on them to try and keep up when they're working here and having to inspect there.
So, well, it's authorizing
To advertise, so whether we do pen bid or,
That'd be the advertisement part.
Yeah.
So
so
the inspection isn't an issue for the bidder. The inspection isn't an issue for the bidder. It's just something we would have to look at. And I guess what items are we putting out for the bidder?
The bid would go after the PennDOT contract, which is what we've always done. And Rick Levan prepares that according to he comes on site, which he was on site last year when we did the estimate for the budget. And then he sent through the forms from PennDOT. They're Excel spreadsheets is what they are, with the descriptions, with the works, the sites, and how many feet, how wide. He measures all of that because we have to meet their criteria too. We can only be 10% over. So that's why he came out and did it for. I said, could you come out and give us an estimate for our budget for liquid fuels? And that's when he did that. But he did more than I asked. I mean, he really put the projects together. But they need to be gone over with Brad and talked a little bit more.
okay, so the advertisement will be through pen bid though.
I was not going through pen bid.
Okay.
We just advertise it. I send out, I think there's 8 or 9, Nancy. 8.
Is there an upside, downside to pen bid, through pen bid, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, that's maybe if you have a bigger project or something. I mean, this is one of our larger projects. It's true, but
We haven't used them in the past.
no, we've
Okay.
never used them. And what I started to say was, we send out 8 bids before we even advertise, and because if I don't, they're going to call and ask for them anyway. All the Central Pennsylvania people, plus there's a couple up in Mifflin Town, I think it is. Where's that? I can't remember that one. State College. Yeah, Juniata. There's a couple up there. If there's anyone you know of that, please tell me. We send them a bid packet. And generally, that's the people you get bids
So
from.
if it goes through pen bid, it's a single point of contact for us, and then they disseminate out too. So how that works?
I don't know, we've never used pen bid.
I'm saying we've never used them, so we don't know if they're gonna. Okay.
I just think it complicates things.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been through the bidding process. I haven't done the actual sending out of bids. John and also using pen bid. You're thinking we should?
I think it'd be better because then if one contractor asks one, it's one point of contact. Questions come in, they come in through that. An email comes in, all that good stuff. But the other thing is if a contractor asks a question, you answer it right there, and they all see the answer, and you aren't answering it 5 different times or 8 different times or whatever. And then everything's all documented and saved there. That if you want to see it next year, it's
There's no additional cost to the township, is my recollection, right?
correct. I think it was like a 3% was what Penn Bid charges the winning bidder.
They
Was
charge
just
the
3%.
bidders, so they're gonna add that to the contract somehow.
A 3%, yeah.
They charge the bidders, so
Mhm.
if it's 3% of, I don't know what
And-
it would be, over 150,000, 200,000.
And if you remember, Penn Bid said, "Hey, that's a cost savings for them because they're doing it all electronically."
Yeah,
through
no,
that.
I recall,
Either
I
way.
recall the conversation, I just
Yep,
don't
yeah.
remember how we left it,
Yep.
unfortunately. I'd be inclined to give them a try for once, because we haven't used them in the past. It may be easier. I understand, but it may be. And or
In my
it may
opinion,
turn into
I
a
think it's
total,
a waste,
it may
a
turn
waste
into
of
a
time and,
Gotta try it before you know what it's gonna taste like.
it's more for bigger municipalities.
Understood.
And there was still an advertisement, but it was an advertisement in the newspaper requirement. It was just here it is. We're doing a paving project. Go see Penn Bid. Look here.
If I
I
can
think
get
that
it
was
set
pretty
up
much
in
what it was.
time now, that's gonna push us ahead. I don't know what it takes to
Think back.
join this Penn Bid and then if we end up getting higher, I'm gonna ask Rick Levan about it, because if he's familiar with it and he says, yes, you're gonna get higher bids, we don't need higher bids.
well, we'll take Rick's feedback under advisement, but for now, I'm gonna make a motion that we go through Penn Bid. Second,
Also,
what's
also,
that also?
well, not just Penn Bid, but everybody that she's passed in,
Well, no, but-
giving them a try.
But you can still send them a letter and let them know, or an email.
Yeah, that's the point. It goes out through Penn Bid and then it manage the responses back through it.
All I'm saying is, Penn Bid is an addition, not a substitute for anything that we've done before.
The same folks will be able to bid.
Right. Just like before.
Correct.
And
Yep, oh yeah, yep.
plus bidding.
Is that a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Hi. Yeah.
Let's give them.
Yep.
So, here's a quick one.
Mhm.
So if you run through Penn Bid, and they charge 3%
To the winning bidder.
successful bidder,
Mhm.
and the person that you select is one that you mailed something to, and they said they didn't know anything about Penn Bid. Does Penn Bid get 3%? How does that work to do both?
We'd have to tell them they have to be. It is being advertised. When we talked to Penn Bid, they pretty much said you have to make it that it's only through Penn
Yeah,
Bid.
we
It can't be
can
paper
contact,
and
yeah.
Penn Bid.
But you have to direct them. That's my understanding. The advertisement has to say, hey, we're sending out for bid, submit your bids through Penn Bid. Not through-
It's kind of like a notification to go there. You're just telling them, hey,
And
go there.
the 3%, in addition, my understanding, there was some other offset to that. Because again, my first thought was, hey, we're not gonna pay the extra
Mhm.
3%, why would we do that? But refresh my memory because I'm not remembering what the offset was, but there was.
I think the biggest thing was their savings in time and effort to go through all the paperwork and mailing or having somebody here.
It's not a
and that.
problem. It's already on my computer and done.
We're gonna try it this one time, see how it goes.
And one
Well,
other
don't say it was because I didn't want to work then, please.
Okay.
one thing to go with that is we should have a traffic control item in there and tell them whether we want. Are we going to tell them they can close down the road, flag the road, or what?
Was that
You know-
part of something Penn Bid would?
Well,
Okay.
we can have that item in there.
Mhm.
You have your paving items, which is like your wearing course, your base repair. You sometimes want to break out some of the items because otherwise, like the traffic control, normally it's a lump sum item. They say, we're going to do $10,000 in traffic control. So if you go a little bit more in pavement, you're only paying for the pavement, not traffic control to go along with that. So, plus you can tell them, hey, we only want you to detour during these times and these times, or you're only going to flag or whatever. But, itemizing helps in this case because Just like last year or 2 years ago when we had all that extra pavement that we had to chuck and.
Well, now Penn Bid's been down this road, been down this road a bunch of times.
Mhm.
They're gonna know to
That-
send the request for bids out.
Yeah, this is just an
With
item.
the itemization.
Right, we just had to tell them what items we would have wanted.
They're only gonna send out what you give them.
Okay.
So if we only have
It's
two
an annual
pavement.
state
Yeah.
contract. All of that stuff is itemized, and there's a
Okay.
section.
Did we do a traffic control one 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
There's a checklist, and it says that they will provide all the traffic control.
Mhm. I just worry it gets lumped in with all the pavement, so then if we need more pavement, that price goes up. There, not even gonna fight. Not worth it.
Okay, made motion, John Stoll, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to announcements. April 2nd, Good Friday, office will be closed due to train change and trash service. May 7th and May 8th is the bulk spring cleanup. What's our time again on that? Was it Good Friday, 6 a.m.?
To,
6 a.m. till
my bad.
11:45.
141.
1:45 on Friday, and then 8 till
12
noon on Saturday. Okay. May 15th is the fishing derby from 9 a.m. to 10:30. At the Sportsman's Association. The rain date is May 16th. Moving on to approval and payment of the bills, Daisy.
General fund checks 16927 to 16953 in the amount of $23,019. $23,019.13. No checks void. Payroll check 7867 to 7874 in the amount of $4,393.68. Payroll check 7875 to 7879 in the amount of $4,219.46. No payroll checks or expense checks voided during processing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve payment of the bills. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Daisy. Do we have any additional citizen participation at this time? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.